Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. Goeiemorgen, Mama. I figured out what I did wrong yesterday. That doesn't mean I won't accidentally do it again, but at least now I know. I hope you had a good day. I hope you're ready. But before that, before everything, let's quiet down, turn inward. Try to listen to your heart and listen to your mind. Be mindful of the thoughts entering. Take note of the train of thoughts that's running by, coming to you, appearing as of nowhere. What strange creatures we are. On that note, let's listen to Plato. Stranger. The art of the king has been separated from the similar arts of shepherds, and indeed from all those which have to do with herds at all. There still remain, however, of the causal and cooperative arts, those which are immediately concerned with states, and which must first be distinguished from one another. Very good. You know that these arts cannot easily be divided into two halves. The reason will be very evident as we proceed. Young Socrates. Then we had better do so. Proceed, in other words. Stranger. We must carve them like a victim, this translation says. I do prefer the other translation, a sacrificial animal, into members or limbs, since we cannot bisect them. For we certainly should divide everything into as few parts as possible. Young Socrates. What is to be done in this case? Stranger. What we did in the example of weaving. All those arts which furnish the tools were regarded by us as cooperative. Young Socrates. Yes. So now, and with still more reason, all arts which make any implement in a state, whether great or small, may be regarded by us as cooperative. For without them neither state nor statesmanship would be possible. And yet we are not inclined to say that any of them is a product of the kingly art. No, indeed. The task of separating the class from others is not an easy one, for there is plausibility in saying that anything in the world is the instrument of doing something. But there is another class of possession in a city, of which I have a word to say. What class do you mean? A class which may be described as not having this power, that is to say, not like an instrument framed for production, but designed for the preservation of that which is produced. To what do you refer? To the class of vessels, as they are comprehensively termed, which are constructed for the preservation of things moist and dry, of things prepared in the fire or out of the fire. This is a very large class and has, if I am not mistaken, literally nothing to do with the royal art of which we are in search. Certainly not. There is also a third class of possessions to be noted, different from these, and very extensive, moving or resting on land or water, honorable and also dishonorable. The whole of this class has one name, because it is intended to be sat upon, being always a seat for something. What is it? A vehicle which is certainly not the work of a statesman, but of a carpenter, potter, or coppersmith. I understand. And is there not a fourth class, which is again different, and in which most of the things formerly mentioned are contained? Every kind of dress, most sorts of arms, walls, and enclosures, whether of earth or stone, and 10,000 other things, all of which being made for the sake of defense, may be truly called defenses, and are for the most part to be regarded as the work of the builder or the weaver, rather than of the statesman. Certainly. Shall we add a fifth class, of ornamentation or drawing, and of the imitations produced by drawing and music, which are designed for amusement only, and may be fairly comprehended under one name? What is it? Plaything is the name. Certainly, that one name may be fitly predicated of all of them, for none of these things have a serious purpose. Amusement is their sole aim. That again I understand. Then there is a class which provides materials for all these, out of which and in which the arts already mentioned fabricate their works. This manifold class, I say, which is the creation and offspring of many other arts. May I not rank sixth? What do you mean? I am referring to gold, silver, and other metals, and all the wood cutting and shearing and every sort provides for the art of carpentry and plating. And there is the process of barking and stripping the cuticles of plants, and the currier's art, which strips off the skins of animals, and other similar arts which manufactures corks and papyri and cords, and provide for the manufacture of composite species out of simple kinds. The whole class may be termed the primitive and simple possession of man, and with this the kingly science has no concern at all. True. The provision of food and all other things which mingle their particles with the particles of the human body and minister to the body will form a seventh class, which may be called by the general term of nourishment, unless you have any better name to offer. This, however, appertains rather to the farmer, huntsman, trainer, doctor, cook, and is not to be assigned to the statesman's art. Certainly not. These 7 classes include nearly every description of property, with the exception of tame animals. Consider, there was the original material which ought to have been placed first. Next comes instruments, vessels, vehicles, defenses, playthings, nourishment, small things, which may be included under one of these, as for example coins, seals, and stamps are omitted, for they have not in them the character of any larger kind which includes them. But some of them may, with a little forcing, be placed among ornaments, and others may be made to harmonize with the class of implements. The art of herding, which has been already divided into parts, will include all property in tame animals, except slaves. Very true. The class of slaves and ministers only remain, and I suspect that in this the real aspirants of the throne, who are the rivals of the king in the formation of the political web, will be discovered, just as spinners, carders, and the rest of them were the rivals of the weaver. All the others who were termed cooperators have been got rid of among the occupations already mentioned, and separated from the royal and political science. I agree. Let us go a little nearer in order that we may be more certain of the complexion of this remaining class. Let us do so. We shall find from our present point of view that the greatest servants are in a case and condition which is the reverse of what we anticipated. Who are they? Those who have been purchased and have so become possessions. These are unmistakably slaves and certainly do not claim royal science. Certainly not. Again, freemen who of their own accord become the servants of the other classes in a state, and who exchange and equalize the products of farming and other arts, some sitting in the marketplace, others going from city to city by land or sea, and giving money in exchange for money or for other productions, the money changers, the merchants, the ship owner, the retailer, will not put in any claim to statecraft or politics. Young Socrates, no, unless indeed to the politics of commerce. Stranger, but surely men whom we see acting as hirelings and serfs, and too happy to turn their hand to anything, will not profess to share in royal science. Certainly not. But what would you say of some other serviceable officials? Young Socrates, who are they, and what services do they perform? There are heralds and scribes perfected by practice, and diverse others who have great skill in the various sorts of business connected with governments of state. What shall we call them? Young Socrates, they are the officials and servants of the rulers, as you just now called them, but not themselves rulers. Stranger, there may be something strange in any servant pretending to be a ruler, and yet I do not think that I could have been dreaming when I imagined that the principal claimants to political science would be found somewhere in this neighborhood. Very true. Stranger, well, let us draw nearer and try the claims of some who have not yet been tested. In the first place, they are the diviners, who have a portion of servile or ministerial science, and are thought to be the interpreters of the gods to men. True. There is also the priestly class, who, as the law declares, know how to give the gods gifts from men in the form of sacrifices, which are acceptable to them, and to ask on our behalf blessings in return from them. Now both these are branches of the servile or ministerial art. Yes, clearly. And here I think that we seem to be getting on the right track. For the priest and the diviner are swollen with pride and prerogative, and they create an awful impression of themselves by the magnitude of their enterprises. In Egypt, the king himself is not allowed to reign unless we have priestly powers, unless he has it should be he has, right? He has priestly powers. And if he should be of another class and has thrust himself in, he must get enrolled in the priesthood. In many parts of Greece or Hellas, the duty of offering the most solemn propitiatory sacrifices is assigned to the highest magistraries. And here at Athens, the most solemn and national of the ancient sacrifices are supposed to be celebrated by him who has been chosen by lot to be the King Archon. Precisely. Thus far our scripture of the evening. I wanted to Google this King Archon, but I completely forgot. Okay, it's not that interesting. So, well, two things if I combine everything. I will link what I wrote down first with what I wrote down last. And let's talk about the whole idea of slaves. For those who get angry at the Greeks for having had slaves, please be reminded that the Greeks themselves were in turn also slaves. And thankfully, it is a dying practice, not quite dead yet in our world, but it is dying. And I wrote down what you do or who you are. This passage, the Eleatic stranger, focuses on people's occupations and their roles in society, for calling them statesmen, which is fair, as long as you focus on the statesman and not on the nobility, the king. Because I would argue that nobility lies in the soul more than in your role. And I had to think, I think it's him. I read this. It's quite an easy read in a way, because it's only one sided, the other side is in Greek. I see on this page, I opened on page 27, and I, by accident, and I see there's something I did my little, if I find words beautiful, I make a little cloud around it. I did a cloud and I made a heart. So let's see, I'm a bit nervous of sharing this with you without knowing what I'm going to share. Your job is to put on a splendid performance of the role you have been given. But selecting the role is the job of someone else. Do you think that is very relevant? It's how you do the work, not the work itself. I believe Epictetus was a slave. I'm not sure if it was him. They don't say. But yeah, I am quite sure. I'm just always doubting myself a little bit. Your job is to play your role well. What role you are given is in someone else's hands. I've been thinking of fate and foolishness today and the previous days. And I don't trust in it, but I do believe that is all we have. Fate and foolishness. We can kick against it. But I was speaking to Ryan today, and I told him something that I've been thinking about fate. And maybe I'm completely wrong. Most likely. But I'm wondering if, because I do believe he doesn't. I do believe in, well, let's say no free will, but more that I am completely determined, predisposed to who I am. The fact that I am capable of doing what I'm capable of doing and not capable of doing what I'm not capable of doing, even that is in my DNA, my genes, my history, the history of my ancestors. I don't think there's anything I can do to change my fate. Let's put it like that, because it sounds dramatic that way. But I do think it is in our power to change each other's fate. Because a ball will keep rolling, inertia, and still, well, if there's no forces, no what do you call it when it's like well, you know what I mean. Things slowing it down. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I want to do a gesture, but it's very crude. Friction. When there's no friction or any forces stopping it, it will keep rolling in the same direction unless another ball hits against it. And maybe, yeah, I suppose the balls who hit us is also in a way predetermined, because everything boom and everything just starts falling into their places. So so even that was always going to happen. But I would more easily believe in our encounters, not necessarily that the people themselves are the ones changing us or changing our face, but our encounters, especially who we hit up against, do have the potential to change our courses. I don't know. Why on earth were I talking about that? Oh, fate. Oh, yes. The role you have to play has been given to you by fate, by everything that preceded you, if you want to prefer to put it like that. The only thing, according to Epictetus, then, is that you can play it well. I like that. I see why I clouded it. So that is the one idea. Oh, and yeah. The first thing, well, I wrote down about this entertainment, plaything. And then the sacrifice and blessings and scribe. I do believe if there is anything like previous lives, I must have been a scribe. I love copying texts. Really, if I didn't have so many other interests. As a teenager, I did it. I would copy text over and over and over again. Quite a waste of paper, but still it was fun. And maybe that's what I'm doing with Plato. I'm copying the text. I'm just doing it verbally with my voice. I'm still just copying texts. The scribe in me will never die. The playthings, the people who do things for amusement, none of these things have a serious purpose. Amusement is their sole aim. Folly wrote something recently about play and serious play. And he added a warning of this type, I think. I couldn't quite get what exactly it was that he was warning against. Oh yes, drifting. Just playing and playing and playing and never really building anything serious. The thing is, I tried that. And I failed. Doing the normal life. Wasn't in my cards. And maybe once you've tried and failed, you're set free to simply play. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. So be careful when you ask how to be free. All that being said, after dark tonight, I will go. It was intended before I read this passage. It's already there on my little altar type of thingy. I will go to the river Amstel to make a sacrifice. It's a sacrificial time of the month. And I have no particular thing I need to ask for. But I will ask that all those who watch this will be blessed. I hope you don't mind. Oh, yes. I forgot. I finished. I'm going a little longer again, but I think I want to do this. 2 books that I'm reading from today. So I finished Twilight of the Idols today. I do want to share the closing. Let me put it like this, then I can. The closing poem from Thus Spake Zarathustra, it seems. The hammer speaketh. Why so hard? Said the diamond once unto the charcoal. Are we then not next of kin? Why so soft? O my brethren, this is my question to you. For are ye not my brothers? Why so soft, so servile and yielding? Why are your hearts so fond of denial and self-denial? How is it that so little fate looketh out from your eyes? And if ye will not be men of fate, inexorable, how can ye hope one day to conquer with me? And if your hardness will not sparkle, cut and divide, how can ye hope one day to create with me? For all creators are hard. And it must seem to you blessed to stamp your hand upon millenniums as upon wax. Blessed to write upon the will of the millenniums as upon brass, harder than brass, nobler than brass. Hard through and through is only the noblest. This new table of values, O my brethren, I set over your heads, become hard. May the spirit of Sophia be with you.